Hello, citizens of YouTube land.
Hello.
It's your president and your VP, and we're back once again with another episode of Lifetime Movies, from a dude's perspective. This time it's Girl in the Box. So, Girl in the Box is a 2016 movie that is based off of a real life incident, the kidnapping of Colleen Stan. And so let's just get right into this. It starts with a couple in a car heading down a desert highway in California, and they come across a hitchhiker named Colleen. They pick her up and take her, and things are progressing a little bit, and something's not quite right though. And it escalates very quickly into the kidnapping situation.
Yeah, it's like
5 minutes in.
5 minutes in, yeah.
And they force her to their house, and they begin to... How can I best say this? They begin to abuse her. That's probably the best word I can use,
Yeah.
rather than saying what actually happens. So, yeah, this is very difficult to really talk about.
Yeah.
She is forced to be a slave for them in more ways than one, and I'll just say that. It's difficult, guys.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It's a touchy subject.
It's difficult to talk about because it's like we found this on Lifetime. We didn't know what it would be like, honestly, and yeah.
The couple, by the way, their names are Cameron and Janice Hooker, and the Cameron believes in polygamy among other things, and has basically also brainwashed Janice into following along with his beliefs and whatnot. And she makes one thing perfectly clear, that she doesn't want him to get, how shall I say, intimate with her, with their new find, so to speak. Like I said, guys, this is a sticky, touchy one. Trying to bounce around this so that it doesn't really get taken down.
Yeah.
So,
this is
Cameron, he busts out a whip at one point and starts whipping this poor girl. I can kind of say that, I guess. And he basically uses manipulation and brainwashing tactics. Meanwhile, Janice portrays herself as a God-fearing Christian and reads the Bible daily and prays. I think she's hoping that she can pray his sickness away, but it doesn't work. But he uses these tactics on Colleen, who is now known as somebody else entirely.
K.
That's her new name.
The letter K.
Not K as in K-A-Y, but just the letter K.
Like Agent K from Men in Black.
And
Sorry,
what really makes
this
disturbing is the fact that later in the movie, Janice gives birth, and they bring a child in the midst of all this. But the landlord lives next door to him, and is like asking questions about how he can get to the basement, because that's where she's being kept at first. And so he's asking questions, and then they decide they have to move, so they move to a trailer. But in the process, Cameron constructs basically a coffin and forces her into it for 23 hours a day, depriving them of light and whatnot. And things escalate, and Cameron and Janice get into big fights about it, but Cameron always wins because he's a psycho and that's the
Yeah.
best way I can describe him.
Yeah.
And Janice and Kay start to bond. But Janice then snaps and like puts her back in her place. Like, you're just here because you're our property and nothing more. And it's like really sad. It really is.
Yeah. Then they also like go on like this vacation type thing, and they leave her in that box, and then soon
She gets desperate and
yeah,
busts the box open.
her own mental health kind of just like snaps
But
almost.
at the same time, Cameron has introduced this idea of the company, which apparently he's a part of, but not really. He made it up. And the company is responsible for getting slaves of various natures for people. But it's all made up. It's manipulation. Like I said, guys, this is difficult. It's really difficult.
And it's like,
I can't go into great detail as to what actually happens in it like we would do with other movies because the subject matter is so touchy.
Yeah, it's
But
yeah.
all I can say is watch it for yourself and be the judge because it's based off of a real thing. This really happened to this poor girl.
And the girl, she like recounted her experience to the FBI. So this went to the FBI.
But
And it's gone down in FBI history.
yeah. Also, there are several things that you should know. She does eventually escape because Janice basically helps her escape because she feels sorry for her.
And tells her to escape, and because both Janice and Colleen testified against him, she actually gets immunity and basically puts into a witness protection program.
But I will say that on the performances, the actor and the actresses in this movie, because it's basically just the three of them, they're really good. And the dude is very scary. He's very, very scary.
You know, in case she almost had a way to escape at one point
Yeah.
from him.
Like I said, the part where she busts open the box. And she could have escaped while they were on vacation. But she was so traumatized, so terrified, so brainwashed that she hides in the bathroom instead because she needs water. Because they didn't give her any food or water. Because
They wanted her to die.
they were both psychos.
Yeah.
And even, I will say that I can understand where Janice is coming from because, as it turns out, if you read into this case, guys, she was brainwashed and manipulated and tortured and abused too. And that's all I can really say. I can't go into the great details of it, but that's just it. And I hope that this too is not enough to get it taken down. So here's hoping. But yeah, guys. So like we said, she does eventually escape.
After
And-
7 years, though.
The man, Cameron, he responds by just crying. He's crying. And it's his own wife that eventually turns him in, by the way. It's not Colleen. It's his wife. And she does get immunity. And the fact remains, though, is that this traumatized this poor lady for a long, long time. Numerous failed marriages. I kind of looked into this a little bit. And even some jail time herself because of this. That she's never really been able to be who she is. All because of this psycho. Who apparently, by the way, guys, and this is the troubling thing, he wasn't scheduled for another parole hearing until 2030, but because of California's COVID thing, he may actually get released this year. Yeah.
Dang it, California, why you gotta do this?
So
California
there's
be like, yeah, we're gonna release
But-
all of the weirdos from our prison.
that. The movie is shot pretty well. And it's not really your typical Lifetime movie. And I'm sure you guys know what we're saying when we talk about a typical Lifetime movie. It is interesting also to point out that Jan is played by Zelda Williams, who is Robin Williams' daughter. So, and I thought she was phenomenal
Yeah.
as this poor, traumatized lady who tries to turn her way but can't at it all. So, anyways, like I said, it's very well shot, and the acting is pretty top notch on this one.
Yeah.
So,
You know that guy who played shoot. Cameron, yeah. He kind of reminds me of like David Arquette in Happy Face Killer. And
A
how
little
scary
bit.
he was in that.
you know, and he apparently was working at a sawmill or whatever. And, anyways, guys, yeah, this is a pretty good one. So, if you haven't seen it, you can find it on the Lifetime movie app. That's where we found it at. It's probably available on DVD somewhere as well. The final rating for me, it's a little difficult, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it 3.25 out of 5, or 3.75 out of 5. What say you?
Probably 2 3/4.
Okay, so there's quite a big difference there. That makes a combined rating of around 3 out of 5 thereabouts. So, but of course, as always, if you've seen the movie and you think it's ridiculous and that the performances were over the top and that it shouldn't have been made, well, you're wrong. But hey, just remember, as always, we're just two idiots with a cell phone camera. Our opinions do not matter, except they actually do, because we have a YouTube show. Except they actually don't. So, guys, having said all that, tune in next time where it's going to be
Walker.
the newest Walker review, and I think we've got another movie on tap that we need to get out as well. I just can't remember which one it was.
Knockout? The one
Knockout.
The one that we watched yesterday?
Yeah.
Or, be back. I got a surprise for you guys. Hold on. Or we could cover this movie.
Hours. Paul Walker's final movie. It's going to be one or the other. It's either going to be Knockout featuring Stone Cold Steve Austin or Hours featuring Paul Walker. So, guys, having said all that, there's only one thing left to say, and that is
Peace and love from Denny and Son. Bye.